occupies the lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung peoples and Boonwurrung peoples of the Eastern Kulin Nation. The building is located within Elstonwick Council's cultural precinct, with Selwyn Street soon to be pedestrianised into a public space. The project has undergone a lengthy funding, design and approvals process before starting construction in 2020 and will be open to the public mid this year. Since project inception, we have considered the position of the MHM in the context of international approaches. For instance, Studio Liebeskind's Jewish Museum Berlin is remarkable for its foreboding presence and experiential unease for the works. But what does it mean to build a Holocaust museum in an Australian context? We decided that the appropriate response here is to provide a humane building that enables the survivors, their descendants and the museum content to speak of the unspeakable, rather than the architects or architecture. The Holocaust Museum holds a union of opposites: grief and faith, loss and hope, adversity and survival, solitude and fellowship. The architecture articulates these tensions between opposites in the creation of spatial ones: compression and relief, silence and vitality, openness and concealment. Mass is dissolved to let in the light. The materiality of the museum facade is clay bricks and glass bricks woven together. This presents as another meeting of opposites: strong and gentle, robust and delicate, opaque and open. We deliberately avoided a facade that reads as a war bunker. Instead, veil light, the building facade holds both security and visibility intention. The facades provide passerby with glimpses of heritage, trees and light. Central to the mission of the MHM is illumination through education to shed light on history. Clay and glass gradate from a resilient and secure ground floor to a top level for staff, where those engaging with traumatic histories daily are provided with the most access to light and views. Functions are mapped across the facade, expressed by their need or not for natural light. Clay and glass interweave across the building face. There is an association here with the tapestries of Annie Albers, who was at the Bauhaus until it was closed by the Nazis in 1933. Kristallnacht, night of broken glass, is when the fragility of glazed facades became synonymous with the pogrom itself. Can or should architecture be deployed to speak of the Holocaust? For many, the Holocaust remains outside of representation. We have considered associations, but have left them subtle, pluralistic, and open-ended. Beautiful tapestries and traumatic destruction, fragility and resilience all coexist. The museum interior provides a series of reconnections back to the suburban landscape, the weather, light and sky. Windows and skylights bring people back from the trauma landscapes of Europe to their local situation. Views and natural light provide physical orientation in response to the emotional disorientation caused by the museum's contents. A small birch forest has been planted as a gesture towards life and the cycle of the seasons. Birch trees lent their name to the Auschwitz-Birkenau camp, and as such here they may represent both life and death. Mura has been deployed throughout the interior as another material of contradictions. They disorientate spatially while simultaneously reconnecting visitors with the sun and clouds. It is used to reflect the sky deep into the interior. They confront building visitors with their own reflection and the unexpected reflection of others.
The Jewish Holocaust Museum was founded by survivors in 1984 in the 1918 Heritage Building to the south, and further expanded in 1999 with a new addition by SGB Architects. Almost 4 decades ago, a new layer of cultural significance was added to the Heritage Building with its transformation into the institution it still houses today. The success of the museum over so many years is a testament to the incredible effort of the hundreds of survivors who voluntarily gave so much time and energy to ensure their message would be heard. Their legacy lives on in every corner of the museum. The role of the museum as a cultural repository is reinforced by embedding the original heritage building within its new facade and treating it as an important artifact of the museum. Integrated with the brickwork facade of the new building, it raises inseparable from and essential to the museum's cultural heritage, linking the past and the future. The old and new facades come together to present a strong civic form to the street. The distinctive corner turret of the early building remains a defining feature of the streetscape. Internally, its significance is reinforced through its transformation into a dramatic three-story lightway that illuminates a memorial space, arguably the symbolic heart of the museum in which lives lost during the Holocaust are remembered. At night, the top corner of the turret illuminates from within and shines as a beacon of hope. The new five-story facility accommodates a complex program all integral to the function of the museum. At ground floor, the entry opens into a generous foyer with clear view through to the memorial garden at the back, library and research center behind the existing facade, and two auditorium. In the basement, the circulation spine is repeated, as well as on all levels to provide clear orientation and views. Educational space on this level. On level 1, we have museum on each side and the memorial behind the heritage facade. On level 2, children museum to the south, research and admin space to the north. And level 3 houses staff and administrative space and offers long view. The light shaft and stair void are used for internal connection throughout, mirror and views for connection to the context and the here and now. A walk around the building in the Selwyn Street context. The entry, which is secure but allows direct view to the inside. The entry foyer with direct views to the memorial garden at the rear. One palette of material, local timber, was selected to provide a human feel. It feels warm and to make visitor receptive, open to learn. The memorial garden with the Andrew Rogers sculpture and the eternal flame. In the library, the former solid door is replaced with a large window, and the existing stained glass windows are reinstated. Museum entry, change of atmosphere with weather, time of the day, time of the season. The museum presents to the context as a secure yet suitably transparent, contemplative, respectful, but also life-affirming. The architecture aims to render visible not only the trauma of the Holocaust, but importantly the survival of the Jewish people.